Welcome to another episode of the Moment of Prosperity. Today, I'm bringing to you five major dimensions of education you need. Five dimensions of education you need. If you are going to rise above average and you want to break your limits, you want to step into true empowerment, you must understand that success is not built on certificate alone. You must understand that success is not built on college certificate or university degrees. It is actually built on certain dimensions of education that schools would never fully teach you. There are five of them. I mean, there are five dimensions of education that are very important, very powerful for you. Missing even a single one among these five can keep you to continue struggling. No matter how smart or hardworking you are, imagine knowing yourself so well that you can manage your weaknesses, that you can master the real world marketplace where qualifications alone don't count. Tapping into spiritual depth where unseen forces shape physical outcomes and unlocking financial wisdom that build wealth across generations. Today, I will reveal the five fundamental dimensions of education you need. And once you grab them, you master them, you put them into practice, nothing will ever keep you small again. You start growing and growing stronger. You start creating wealth. You start understanding how you can grow your wealth. Number one, among these five dimensions of education, this number one is very fundamental. Number one, you need to have personal education. Personal education is very important. If you are listening to me right now, you are with me right now. Yeah, you will understand. Yeah, coming back. If you are listening to me right now, you are either a young man, a young woman, aged, a male or a female, or whatever. You need to understand yourself. Do you know your strengths? I'm asking you. Oh, guy there, do you know your strengths? Do you know your weaknesses? Do you know your likes? Do you know your dislikes? What are those things you don't actually like? Do you really have understanding of yourself? Because when it comes to self, there is the known self, there is the unknown self, there is the hidden self, there is a blind self. So there is dimensions of you, many dimensions of you yourself that only other people can see, which you yourself cannot see. So number one, you need personal education. And this is you understand yourself. You need to spend time to understand yourself. So you would know who you are. You know your life, your dislike. You quite understand. You know your temperaments. You understand all the different strengths and weaknesses that you have, so that you can properly manage yourself for effectiveness into this the marketplace we are talking about. As I said, number one is personal education. Moving from personal education, I go straight into number two. Number two, you need academic education. When we are talking about academic education, we are talking about college certificates, we are talking about university degrees. So you need academic education. When it comes to wealth creation, academic education is not enough. So don't be deceived. Schools will not tell you this. So academic education is not enough for wealth creation, and it's not enough for economic empowerment. But this academic education is still has its place in your life, because at least you'll be able to count money. That is the purpose of academic education. You need to know how to do mathematics, how to do mathematics, so that you will not be deceived, so that you will know that 10 plus 10 equals 20, 30 plus 30 equals 60. So this is what academic education can do. You still need to be able to read, to be able to sign your check and read things before you enter your contractual agreements. This is the purpose of academic education. So you still need a level of academic education, and that is very, very important. So academic education is very important. It will give you a kind of self-awareness. You'll be able to understand when and how you behave, because you'll be able to read and write. You'll be able to understand when a contract is given to you. This is the purpose of academic education. But when we are talking about wealth creation, don't be deceived. Academic education is not enough. Academic education cannot help you. Academic education cannot take you from point one to point two. No, academic education cannot do this. Academic education can do it. Now, let's now from personal education to academic education, let's now go to number three. Let's move on to number three. Let's move to number three. And what is that number three? That is, you need marketplace education. We are moving, we are going down there right now. That is marketplace education. You see, whenever you see an advertisement, maybe in the newspaper, on radio, television, through your social media, TikTok, Facebook, through email, through contacts, that is saying, is telling you there is a vacancy. And understand one thing: every vacancy is a cry for help. A company is crying to you that we are lacking in this position. We need your assistance. So when you see an advertisement that talks about the vacancy and say we need somebody that has BSc in accounting, for instance. So when they say they need somebody that has BSc in accounting, that is what we call academic education. And they now say, with 3 years experience or 3 years industrial experience. When we are now talking about 3 years experience, when you see those 3 years experience or 3 years industrial experience, that is telling you about marketplace education. You can see now. Remember, I talk about personal education. That is having your personal awareness, your personal understanding, your strength, your weakness, your up, your down, your likes, your dislikes, your temperament, your ability. All this bordered on personal education. Then from personal education, the second dimension is academic education. And I said, don't be deceived. Academic education alone cannot help you to create wealth. Academic education can only prepare you to be slave to somebody. But at least academic education will help you. Oh, Tadu is Tomako. Thank you, hi guy. Yeah, Ruskana. Hi guy. Yeah, when we are talking about this academic education, it has a basis of equipping you to be able to read. At least it will guide you not to fall into certain risk or certain challenges. Oh, Pofido ko Rascona, Tadues, hi guy, Tadues Tomeski. Now, when we are not talking about marketplace education, because it is not just for you to have academic education. Take this right. Academic education is not only enough for you. So you have to understand how things operate in the marketplace. You need this kind of education for you to be balanced in society. You have to understand how things work in the marketplace. You see a lot of people, they have a good grade in their college. They have good certificates from their colleges, from their universities. They understand themselves with the help of personal education, but because they don't understand how things operate in the marketplace, when they get into the marketplace, they fail woefully because they don't understand simple teamwork. They don't understand the place of policy. They don't understand the place of loyalty. They don't understand the submission to authority. They don't understand reporting. They don't understand promptness to work. They don't understand a lot of things. So when they get to the marketplace, they are like, I don't understand how to go through because they didn't have that third dimension of education, that is marketplace education. So like I said, before we go to the fourth dimension of education, I said the first one is personal education. And under this personal education, this is where you understand, you have a kind of self-awareness knowledge. Self-knowledge in terms of you understand your likes, your dislikes. You need all this in your journey to wealth creation. You need this in your journey to build wealth. You need this. You need to understand yourself. You need to understand your temperament. You need to understand how you can relate with others. You need to understand. Thank you, Thank you, Storia Tells. Thank you, hi guys. Thank you, Storia Girl Tells. Thank you. So you need to understand when you have personal education, you understand yourself. That is what we call self-awareness. But this is not enough. You now move to academic education. And I said, academic education, no school will tell you this. Academic education cannot is not enough alone to give you a kind of equipment, empowerment you need for prosperity, for prosperity, for economic empowerment, for wealth creation. But at least you have a kind of mathematical knowledge. You'll be able to read. At least you will be able to sign a check. Then we now move to the third level of education, that is marketplace education. And I said earlier that when we are talking about marketplace education, this is not only academic education is not enough. So you need the marketplace knowledge. And that is when a company, probably you see an advertisement, that advertisement is now telling you that a particular company is crying out for help. Oh, guys, hi, guys, there. Oh, there's a vacancy, and you apply. From there, they will now be asking you, do you have certain year of experience, certain year of knowledge? Maybe like 3 years, 3 years experience, or 3 years industrial experience, so that you know how things work in the marketplace. You understand the principles or the effort of teamwork in the marketplace. You understand the place of policy in the marketplace. You understand the place of loyalty in the marketplace. You understand the submission to authority in the marketplace. So you know how to report properly. You know how you have to be prompt to work. So you, by having a marketplace education, you understand a lot of things. You understand how things operate. You understand how people relate with one another, with each other in the place of work, to work together as a team. Then this now goes to the fourth level of education, and this is very critical. It is what we call spiritual education. Hi guys, listen and listen very well to me. Everything you see in your world today is controlled by things that you do not see. I repeat again, I come again. Listen, hi guys there. I said the fourth level of education you need for prosperity in life or for wealth creation is spiritual education. And I said, you listen to me, listen very well. Everything you see in your world today is controlled by the things that you do not see. And when we say you do not see a thing, we are talking spiritually. Before I speak to you, I think what I should say. So what I say is a result of what I thought. My thinking is invisible, so my thinking is spiritual, and my words that you are hearing now is audible. This is a good example. Before you can see a house, a building, before you can see it, you agree with me, there is a design. There is actually a design. The design is put on the paper, as what we call architectural design. And the architectural design is developed and is turned into a building. It's turned actually into a building. So every building you see was once a design in the mind of somebody. What is in the mind of that person is what we are referring to as spiritual. So for every society, there is a segment of spiritual and a segment of physical. This also as well relates to wealth creation. So you need to understand that spiritual controls the physical. The spiritual realm is the realm where events occur before they happen. That is, whatever we do in the physical realm, it first of all occur in the spiritual realm before they occur in the physical realm. Before anything happens in the natural or in the physical, it first of all has its occurrence in the spirit realm. So you need to understand the spiritual education. It is very important to know that everything in this world is controlled by the spiritual forces. So if you are to succeed in this marketplace we are talking about, either you are in the secret court or in the secret place. There is no middle ground. The problem with a lot of people is that they are not in the secret court and they are not in the secret place. So when there is a roll call in the secret place, they are absent. And when there is a roll call in the secret place, they are absent as well. So it is very important that you have to belong to one. Either you belong to a secret court or a secret place, but you are neither here nor there. In the journey of wealth creation, it cannot work. You just have to belong to one. Number 5. Remember, I mentioned number 1. Number one is physical education. That is for you to create wealth, for you to enjoy prosperity. You need 5 dimensions of education. And these 5 dimensions of education has to do with number 1. You need personal education. It is very important. And I said under this personal education, it is all about self-awareness. You need to understand yourself, self-diagnosis. Under this self-diagnosis, you need to understand yourself. You need to know your weaknesses, your strengths, your temperaments, your likes, your dislikes, your ability, your inability, your cross, your dots. You need to understand yourself. Then the second level of education is academic education. And you have to understand that in academic education, you are not being trained about financial education. You are only being given mathematical education, given the ability to read and understand, so as to guide you against any pitfall, like your ability to be able to sign a check, your ability to sign a memorandum of understanding, your ability to sign a contractual agreement. But this is actually not financial education. Then this now goes to the stage 3. That is the third level of education. Under this third level of education, you need actually a marketplace education. Under this marketplace education, it is very important that you understand when a company makes an advertisement, your college degree, your university degree alone might not be able to qualify you for the job the company is advertising. And that is when you see a condition that for you to be qualified for this job, you need 3-year industrial experience, 3-year working experience. This 3-year working experience, 3-year industrial experience is what actually we are talking. We are referring to marketplace education. This will guide you, this will equip you so that you understand how things work in the marketplace, how things operate in the marketplace. And this will help you how to understand teamwork, to understand the place of policy in the place of work, to understand loyalty in the place of work, to understand submission to authority in the place of work, to understand how to report in the place of work. So at university or college, where you be given academic education, this marketplace education will not be given to you. So you need it. Then the fourth level of education is spiritual. Spiritual education has to do with the belief and understanding that in every society there are two places, the spiritual place and the physical place. Before anything could take place in the physical place, it must have occurred in the spiritual place. As I'm speaking to you now, before I speak, I think. That my thinking is what we call a spiritual. You can hear me now, I am audible. But what I'm saying is from spiritual because it comes from the thinking. So for word to be created, it has to be planned from the conscious effort or conscious mind. It is not by accident. It does not happen in the physical alone. It must have happened in the spiritual. So you have to understand that you need to belong to either secret court or secret place. The secret place is a natural place where every human being will give a conscious understanding, a conscious talk of where you are today and where you want to be tomorrow. So the number five level of education is what we call financial education. Financial education is the ability to understand money. Your ability to understand money. Financial education is to know how to make, how to manage, and how to multiply money. Listen carefully and listen to me. The first thing is that financial education is the ability, your ability to understand money. Money I am talking about is not the paper you are seeing. And for you to understand, to have financial education, you need to know how to make money, how to manage money, and how to multiply money. How can you make money? Again, when we are talking about financial education, you need to understand income and expenditure. From the income, from the money you are realizing, you need to be able to differentiate between what we call income and what we call expenditure. Financial education, again, is for you to understand the cash flow, compound interest. You need for you to have financial education, you need to understand what we call asset and liability. What part of your property represent asset, which one represent liability. Therefore, you need to understand everything about money. You just need to understand everything about money. Because for instance now, when you don't understand money, then how can money gravitate towards you? How can money be attractive to you? How can you attract what we call money to yourself when you don't actually understand what we call money? When you hear someone is a money magnet, is because they understand, that person understand money. Because the more you learn, the more you earn. The more you keep yourself with knowledge, the more you learn. Your learning capacity determines your earning capacity. It goes together. So if you want to become all that you need to be fully economically empowered for sustainability, you need financial education. I come again. If you want to become all that you need to be fully economically empowered for sustainability, you need financial education. But the amazing thing is that schools don't teach financial intelligence. The schools where we spend like 16, 18 years don't actually teach financial intelligence. Yes, you can see a lot of people that have gone to school, including yourself, myself, everyone, yet they don't have financial intelligence because they did not go through financial education. So financial education does not come through the foreword of an institution. Financial education is a function of personal development. You create time, you dedicate time. You create time, you dedicate time. So for you to have financial education, you need a personal development of yourself. It is you that will make up your mind that you want to understand this thing called money. You see, I am always amazed how a lot of people wake up very, very early in the morning. Very early in the morning, they go out there looking for money. They want to be rich. They want to make money. But the same set of people that wake up very early in the morning looking for money are not also willing to take out their time to learn about that very money. You can see the irony. So many people are busy from morning till night, working 9 to 5, working seriously to make money, to make more money, to make more money, to make more money. But the amazing thing is that they are not willing to create time. They are not willing to dedicate time. They are not ready to learn about this money. And when you are learning about money, you learn three things about money. How can you make money? How can you manage money? And how can you invest money? These are three fundamental things that in the next class we'll take time to explain the fundamental principles of this. Because you need to understand that what you learn is what determines what you learn. Because what you learn will change your attitude, will change your behaviors, will change the way you think, will change the way you appreciate. And the end product of this is that it's going to determine what you earn, what you make, what you realize. So therefore, in summary of the whole thing, I said the first one, I said there are 5 dimensions of education you need. You need these 5 dimensions of education to create more wealth for yourself, to create prosperity, to grow financially. The first one is personal education. The second one is academic education. The third one is marketplace education. The fourth one is spiritual education. And the last one is financial education. I said under the personal education that you need a kind of education that will give you a self-awareness. Self-awareness in terms of how you think about yourself, in terms of how you understand your strengths, how you understand your likes, your dislikes, how you understand your personal strengths, how you understand your personal weakness, how you understand your ability to handle your temperament, your ability to plan, your ability to implement, your ability to be futuristic. It has to do with your personal self. This is what all together we call personal education. It is very important because self-awareness is a great asset for you to grow, for you to understand what is happening. You need this self-education or personal education, as it may be. Academic education, like education, academic education to guide you to have a level of understanding your ability to read, your ability to understand, your mathematical ability. But you understand that academic education is not enough to make you wealthy. It is not enough to help you to grow your wealth. It is not enough to sustain you But at least it will help you not to run into crisis. It will help you, it will help you to sign a check. It will help you to sign memorandum of understanding. It will help you to do a lot of things. But it is not enough to take you to prosperity. Then number three, like I said, has to do with spiritual education. Like I said, every society is divided into two: the spiritual place and the physical place. For anything to happen at the physical place, it must have taken place at spiritual place. As I'm talking now, you are hearing me. Before I say anything, I must have thought it in my mind. That mind is what we call it is invisible and is spiritual. For any woman made to do anything in the physical place, it must have occurred in the spiritual place. The same process goes to creating wealth. For anything to happen in the marketplace, it must have occurred at the spiritual place. Then number four. I said number four actually has to do with the marketplace education. Like I said, at the marketplace education, it is not enough that you have academic education. That alone cannot place you in the society. Because for instance now, if there's any advertisement wanting to employ you to a job, you need a level of certain experience. The experience, the company might say, oh, you must have 5 years working experience, 3 years industrial experience for you to qualify for a particular job being advertised. That year of experience, that year of industrial experience is what we call marketplace education, so that you have the knowledge of how things work, how things operate at the market place. You understand the principles of teamwork, you understand the place of policy, you understand the place of loyalty, you understand submission, the principles of submission to authority, you understand the way to report writing, I mean. Then promptness to work. Okay, so you understand a lot of things, how things work in the market place. Then the last one is that I gave today is financial education. And I said financial education is just the ability. The last one, it is the ability to understand money. And when you are understanding money itself, you have to know how to make money. You have to know how to manage money. You have to know how to multiply money. That is investment. So some people just believe that they need to make money. They just need to make money. But they don't know how to manage money. And some know how to manage money, they know how to make money, they know how to manage money, but they don't know how to multiply money. You need all this kind of education where you need to understand it is not enough you know how to make money. It is not enough you know how to manage money. It is also very important how to invest that money. Investing that money is multiplying the money. And when we're talking about financial education, It is to understand income and expenditure. What aspect of your resources are income? What aspect is expenditure? You need to understand cash flow. You need to understand compound interest. You need to understand which part of your property is asset, which part of it is liability. So you need to understand all this. So you need to understand everything about money. Because you don't understand money, then if you don't understand money, how can you attract money to yourself? How can you attract? So because the more you learn, as you are listening now, the more you learn, the more you earn. That is, the more how you understand how to make more money, how to manage more money, and how to multiply money. This is how you can earn more. And that is exactly how you can grow yourself. Your learning capacity will determine your earning capacity. No shortcut about this. Your learning capacity, your knowledge about financial education will determine your capacity to earn more. So if you want to become all that, you need to be economically empowered for sustainability. That is, when we are talking about sustainability, it is all about your ability to fulfill your need today without compromising your need of tomorrow. Some, because they lack the understanding of how to manage money and how to multiply money, they fulfill their need today, but unfortunately, the next tomorrow has been mortgaged. So you need financial education for all this. But you see, the amazing thing I must tell you is that schools don't give this kind of education. School will not teach you financial intelligence. School will not teach you. School will not give you this. But rather, so you can see a lot of people have gone to school, spending years in schools, yet they don't have financial intelligence because they did not go through financial education. All what they go through is academic education. So financial education does not come through 4 walls of an institution. Financial education is a function of personal development. Financial education is a function of personal development. It is you within your conscious mind that you are going to determine to how to learn on how to understand what that thing we call money. So it is when you understand what we call money that you go further for financial education, that you think to understand. You need 3 things to know about money. You need to know, how can I make money? You need to know, how can I manage money? You need to know, how can I multiply money? And by that, you go and you try to ensure that something very amazing is happening everywhere, guys. There, you see people waking up in the morning, you see people running here and there, working harder from 9 to 5, working harder, doing multiple jobs, working harder, doing various kind of job just to make money. Working here and there, seriously working, do all kind of hot jobs, do all kind of sort of jobs, just to ensure they have money. But the most unfortunate thing or very amazing thing is that all these people never take out job. I mean, never take out time to learn about that money. They don't have time to learn about money. They don't care to learn about money. So therefore, they know very little about money. Because you need to understand that whatever you learn about money will determine the quantum of money you make. So thank you guys there. Thank you guys there. We are closing for today. Tomorrow we'll resume back again. And tomorrow we are going to give you another wonderful package. Thank you guys there. Thank you guys. Any question there? Oh guys, any question there? Before we wrap it up. Any question there? Oh guys there? Taduse, Tosiko. Any question there? Oh, guys, there, thank you for the encouragement. Thank you for the top up. Thank you. Any question there, guys? All right.